I guess we can all agree, though, that more accountability is needed, right? Like, as long as power exists, we need some mechanisms in order to hold it accountable.
Mm. Yeah.
So you're right about the connection between the military and police in America. In fact, I think starting in the 60s or 70s to deal with some riots that were occurring in the late 60s. I think President Nixon signed some kind of bill or law or something that made it so that the equipment that the military uses can then be donated to police so that they could use it in those neighborhoods, and that has continued. I think now people are realizing that connection, and they're stopping that because it's true. You have police have this SWAT gear and tanks even. And so they use it in a neighborhood because they're trying to protect themselves. I think, as I believe Iona said, protect themselves at all costs, because they want to protect themselves. So they go in with the SWAT gear and a tank to deal with some type of drug issue. And I think that's why, to me, if you can just have less of those encounters between an occupation that is, so police are violence workers in a way, right? They deal with violence and stopping violence and using violence to stop violence. And so to me, it's just hard to see a way where you can still have police have all of these encounters and it not lead to a lot of violence. And so it's better to find alternative ways of dealing with issues that don't require that violence, like a traffic stop. I mean, can we come up with a way that police don't have to do that job? I don't know.
I mean, do they really have to stop people who have a faulty taillight or something? I think those kinds of things, you should just take a photo of the license plate number and send them a text. So I think that a lot of, and I do think, I don't know how workable this would be, so I'm just spitballing here, but I could imagine that you are policing a neighborhood by just having a police presence, officers patrolling, and those officers need not be armed. And if there is an incident there, then they can call for reinforcements, but it prevents this sort of going instantly into panic mode. I mean, I recently saw, and it may be worse, it may be exacerbated by racial issues. I'm not certain of that, but I'm inclined towards thinking that it is. But I won't stand up in the court of law and swear to it. But it's really police's treatment of people, because we certainly see that also happening. For example, this stuff. And the
very vague concepts that are hard to tax, because that's an extremely classist policy, and because of a legacy of racism, you have Black people are at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum. Their public schools are funded less. That's obviously an issue. Criminal justice reform also elevate Black communities, elevate white communities. The reason I'm talking about these specific policies is because I think it's something that we get people to agree on, right? It's like if you want to push a policy position that helps white people and Black people, you have a coalition. When you have a coalition, it's much easier to get things done. And I also view white America and Black America working together towards common goals on policy can actually be part of a well-needed reconciliation process between white and Black America, which I don't think we've had enough of. So I would like to see the social justice movement in the United States really hone in on take a few core sets of policies that white people can also get on board with, just because that's the way to build a coalition, and really drive that in. And I think that's the best way to transform the country for the better.
Okay.
You asked. You asked.